Hello and welcome everybody to Game 4 of Hero vs. Puma from the NASL Season 2 Grand Finals. My name is Glitch and Game 4 is going to be here on NASL Crevasse. Spawning in the top right position as the Red Terran, playing from Team Evil Geniuses, the man who is currently up 2-1 in this series, we have Puma. His opponent spawning in the lower left position as the Blue Protoss, playing from Team Liquid, we have Hero. This series is going to be a best of 7, so we are still nowhere near done yet. Puma will still need to take another 2 wins if he's going to want to win this series. Hero going to need to take another 3 wins if he's going to want to win this series. So we've got a little bit of a ways to go, and I will be casting this whole best of 7. Yes, you better believe it. Now, I just spent a little bit of time thinking about the last game. I wanted to think about exactly what happened there because Puma smashed that attack. Puma just destroyed that early attack that came from Hero. And I was kind of going back and watching the replay, and I was trying to figure out why exactly that worked. And I think it was really the fact that Puma did not take that 4th gas. He got on that 3rd gas fairly quickly, and he stayed on just 3 gas for quite a while. Now, this doesn't necessarily, you don't want to follow this general rule too much. A very general rule of thumb is that in StarCraft, minerals kind of roughly translate to army units. Gas kind of relates to tech units, things like upgrades, things like that. Whereas, production structures, higher tech production structures, whereas minerals generally are looked at as more army value things. So, in a position like Puma's, where Puma went for that fast expansion and then only got that 3rd gas, but focused more on minerals, it allowed him to have a lot more Marines and Marauders than would be typical. That push was a very well-designed push by Hero, but it was a much more balanced push. It was a much more balanced push in that he, back home, took his 4th gas, he had all 4 of his gas geysers, and behind that push, he was teching to Colossi so that he would have something to follow that push up with, which is very balanced. It's a very solid attack. But the fact that Puma was neglecting that 3rd gas, or that 4th gas rather, for quite a while, meant that he was going to have more minerals, which meant that he was going to have more Marines and more Marauders up, a lot more than Hero was expecting, and was able to do quite a bit of damage there and just destroy that push, especially because what extra gas he did use. Of course, with Marines and Marauders, you're only going to be spending a little bit of gas because Marauders don't really cost a whole lot of gas. They only cost 25 gas a piece, so with the extra gas that he was actually getting, then he was teching to those ghosts, got those very early ghosts, and I think those EMPs plus the fact that he just had so many Marines and Marauders really won him that early battle against Hero. And that was pretty much it. That was such a huge loss for Hero. That was, I think, really the defining point in the game. A lot of people will look at that last fight in the front of Hero's base and maybe say, oh, that Colossus went down so early in the fight, that's the reason Hero lost. But no, I think Hero actually lost much earlier in the game when he lost so much of his army and didn't at all get an even trade for it. Now, let's jump into talking about Game 4 because we have been spending a lot of time talking about Game 3. Looks like Hero has managed to go for a fast expansion, as has his opponent, but notice one critical thing. Puma decided to expand to the safe expansion within his own base. Notice there are only 6 mineral patches here and 1 Vespene gas geyser, which, yes, it is a rich Vespene geyser in this version of the map. Notice he's going to be mining off of that rich Vespene geyser first as well. But notice Puma went for Hero rather went for the little bit more risky move, took the expansion outside of his main base, leaving this small mini expansion within his main to not be taken till later. So he is going to be having a better econ if he is able to hold this. Puma could go for some kind of early aggression here. This is a much harder base to defend than your inside mini expansion there, just because, well, look at this huge area. You can throw down cannons here, but I mean, he's just going to come over here and attack. He's got this huge area attack angle that he can attack from. Notice Hero trying to play it very safe though. Despite him taking this expansion out here, he's trying to maintain map control. He's got a Stalker on the Xel'Naga Watchtower, got a Zealot on this one, has a Probe on this one as well, so he's going to see when his opponent is moving out. Now going to even be throwing down a pylon here for possible future warp-ins, maybe even a little bit of extra vision. And ooh, we do have a proxy starport now going down here for Puma in this upper left position. This could be deadly, but he's actually going to be a little bit surprised when he comes down here and sees that no expansion has actually been taken at this natural quite yet. I mean, I'm assuming that Puma is going to be anticipating that that expansion was taken. He doesn't actually know about this expansion yet. So he's going to be anticipating that on Crevasse, which is a much bigger map, much more macro-heavy map, then he's going to be assuming that his opponent will have taken this this Nexus. And oh no, Hero is actually going to be taking this Nexus here, which now Puma is going to be he's going to need to get a very good read off of this. He's going to need to get in there, and hopefully he will go into the main and see that there is not a whole lot up here, not nearly enough to be warranting this late of a Nexus. So he's going to know that something fishy is going on if he can get up into the main. If he decides to just sit here at the natural and try to kill probes, kill the Nexus, and doesn't really get in here and see what exactly Hero has been doing, then he's going to be thrown way off. Just because he's going to assume Hero has a much larger army than he actually has until he checks this forward position. Now it looks like Hero going to be taking down the destructible debris at the front of Puma's base, going to be getting very aggressive here, but Puma does have some siege tanks up right now. Marines are currently up as well, 2 bunkers up at the front. This is going to be very, very difficult to break. We currently are sitting at 1 barracks, it looks like, and 1 factory. Siege mode is now done and complete, so Puma going to be able to siege up fully saturated at the natural expansion within his main. In the meantime, we do have that first Banshee now going to be popping out. We do have Cloak being researched as well, so that could actually be horribly devastating to Hero. Does he have the robotic facility up? Yes, he does actually have that up. There is 1 observer that is now coming out along the way as well. No observers out on the map yet, but that first one going to be able to pull back, assuming, oh, yep, looks like that observer was not rallied to anywhere, and that Banshee now going to be getting in, and look at how fast that reaction speed is from Hero as he pulls back instantly to come deal with this. 2 stalkers pull back so very quickly, and now he has this observer in position to be able to scout that Banshee. Second Banshee now coming out here for Puma as well, and it looks like, oh man, looks like Hero not going to be quite scouting this. No, there he goes, actually going to be coming down here, throwing down a pylon at this lower position, and now he does actually see that this tech lab and starport is now in this lower position. In the meantime, this Banshee just going to be chilling up in that corner for a little while he maintains this kind of light contain on his opponent. The destructible debris are now down, but Hero is in no position to be able to push into the main of Puma right now. More barracks now being thrown down here by Puma as he is currently up to 3 barracks. 1 factory is still down, and looks like siege tanks continuing to be produced. We do see combat shield on the way here for Puma as he continues to produce more Banshees. 1 Banshee now moving into the natural expansion, trying to do some damage there. Being able to pick up a couple of kills, but beautiful blink there by Hero. Does he get it? Yes, he does actually pick up that Banshee, and that 1 Banshee going to go down. In the meantime, Puma going to be moving out to attack the front. Oh, and this could be a little bit scary here for Hero, as Hero has been pulling back stalkers here to deal with these Banshees in the back of his base. He's even warped a Zealot here up into this northern position here, so he's not going to have the full brunt of his army here. And now Hero going to be pulling all of his drones off the line, going to be pulling all of his probes back from that natural, and it looks like he might actually lose this Nexus. I think that Nexus is going to go down there, and that is going to be a big loss here for Hero. More and more SCVs now being pulled off the line here. Puma feeling very confident about this push, going to try to end this game right here with a big strong push here. The starport now being lifted off, going to be moving down to the center of the map where it can maybe continue to produce more Banshees, and it looks like he's now going to be sieging up on the low ground, going to maybe start to focus down these destructible debris. No third yet being taken here for Puma, but he is continuing to rally more and more Marines. Look at the map. You just see a steady line of red coming down across the map. Banshee's now up on the high ground here. It looks like Puma going to try to throw down some bunkers there, but LiquidHerO going to be catching those bunkers and trying to take them out before they get established here, as Puma starting to throw up a lot of bunkers with these siege tanks for production. This is going to be very, very difficult for Hero to break. Food count just about even right now. 1 Immortal is up, and that Immortal is going to help so much in taking down these bunkers. Not too many, not so much in helping with the Marine count, though. The Marine count is still pretty high, and holy cow, that Immortal falls fast to this number of Marines, and it looks like one bunker does finally finish. The second Immortal is up. Lots of Zealots down in this position. Hero just trying to wait until he has a large enough army to really go for it. He's going to be holding back and trying to play defensive, and oh, looks like that Immortal might go down. Charge is done for the Zealots. Templar Archives is on the way. Dark Shrine now being thrown down for Hero as well. Looks like more bunkers now going to be thrown down here by Puma as more forces continue to be reinforced. More forces coming across the map right now. No third command center yet being thrown down. Still operating on just 3 barracks. And here comes the engagement as Hero now moves in with lots of charge lots here. He does manage to break the bunkers, but takes so much damage from those siege tanks on his Zealots, now being forced to pull back. If we check out the units lost tab, we can see that both players have lost just about an even number of resources. Where did that starport go? There it is. That starport now at the front of Hero's base, as this is turning out to be a very, very strange game here for Hero. As now, all the siege tanks are now sieged up at that lower position. Notice that he's not actually taking down the destructible debris. That is, of course, because he wants to leave them up so that if Hero decides to engage, he'll be able to start to... Oh, we do have some Zealots that tried to do some tricky stuff, being morphed into the back, trying to take out some of those siege tanks, but they are going to go down here, as it looks like Puma now scouting out a couple of these... oh my god, did I miss probes being killed? I did actually miss. I think there was a warp in here at the back here for Hero. Oh my god. Hold on, you guys. Hold on. That's critical. I have to find that out. We are going to go way back, though. That's a little too far back. We are going to go back and find out exactly what happened there, because I know we're going to go into super fast mode. Frame rate going to drop like crazy. Here comes the push at the front. If I miss that push, I am going to kill myself. Because here's all the damage being done, here's the damage, here's that pylon still in that forward position. Watching for that warp in the meantime, more damage being dealt here at the front. Looks like no, those workers that were killed, I think, were just from the SCVs that were here. I have just psyched myself out. No, I don't think any damage was actually done. There go the Zealots that were warped in here in the middle of the map. Gonna try to deal some damage there, and now we are back up to where we were. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I just thought I might have missed in a warp in here, just because I saw that the saturation here was a little light, so I thought Hero might have actually slipped in with a few Zealots, but we see that that is not the case here, as Puma has set up this darned good contain on Hero right now, and he's going to continue to deal more and more damage at the front. Looks like this third has been denied for so long. I would actually really want to see Puma taking that expansion there. His resources are getting a little bit high here, just because he's only operating on 3 barracks, and oh, we do have a Dark Templar now in the natural expansion here, as Hero did actually manage to finally squeeze in one Dark Templar. Maybe that's what was dealing the damage there. I am not going back once again. We've already gone back once again. This Dark Templar going to continue to get lots of kills. 9 kills, 10 kills so far on that Dark Templar. Another one has been warped into the main as well. Expansion now being taken in the lower right position as Puma continues to move into the expansion here or into the main rather of Hero, continuing to do more damage to the production structures. Gateways going down, more and more Archons being morphed in now at the back of this pack. More Immortals continuing to come out as well. Forge is up, but no upgrades have been completed here, as it looks like Puma is really committing to this attack, as he's not really doing a whole lot to save all his SCVs back home. These Dark Templars are still dealing damage here in the base of Puma, and Hero trying to go for the engagement, but there's now a Banshee here in the front lines dealing so much damage right now. It does have Cloak, and no Observer is currently out here to be able to deal with it, as Puma is now looking like he's in a strong position as he continues to move into the map. But notice that the food count still favoring Hero, though, despite the fact that Puma is in the main of Hero doing so much damage right now. I think he's actually in an okay position right now. Oh, big engagement going down here, as all these Marines and Marauders are getting very low. No medevacs out on the field, so every stim here is extremely valuable. And it looks like Puma going to continue to produce more and more units and send what he can across the map, but this lower expansion is going to get up and running here for Hero. One Raven now out on the field as well for any Dark Templar that may try to get warped in here at this lower position. We do see that one Stalker has been morphed in here to start to try to take out this starport that is in the back, but I think it is going to be able to get picked off. This Cloaked Banshee once again reaching a few Stalkers, getting a few Stalker kills, trying to see what is going on all over the map. I'm just seeing bits of blue and red everywhere all over the map. Looks like Puma going to be lifting off his main orbital command as he is now pulling it down to his army where he can adequately defend it. Looks like the main expansion, or the main base, is going to go down here for Hero as he's taking a lot of damage here. Banshee in the natural expansion continuing to deal more and more damage. Hero leaving his probes mining here so that he can continue to warp in as many units as he can. As we can see, more gateways now going down here for Hero, so he's going to have an expansion mining here. Looks like Puma going to be settling down as well on taking another expansion. Where are those Dark Templar? Are they still doing damage in the main? No, looks like they were finally cleaned up here by Hero. And I need to actually, you know what, go to the Units tab. The Units tab is actually going to be extremely important right now, as those 2 Dark Templar are still out on the map somewhere. There they are. There are the 2 Dark Templar now have been pulled back. These are Hero Dark Templars, 14 kills and 22 kills, but Puma doing so much damage. The natural expansion going down right now. So much damage being dealt. Puma right now just needs to stay alive. This Raven going to be absolutely critically important here, because I think that on the Units tab, we can see 8 Stalkers, 2 Dark Templar, 2 Zealots, and 2 Sentries against 4 Siege Tanks, 19 Marines, a Marauder, and a Raven, and 2 Banshees. So I think Puma currently has the army advantage. If they were to just go in a straight-up fight right now, I think Puma would absolutely have the advantage here. And oh, it looks like Hero going to be moving forward right now and just blinking back. Banshee's now out, going to try to scout the base because he realizes that Hero has not yet been revealed here. So he knows that Hero has got to have a base out on the map somewhere. In the meantime, going to be hiding that orbital command, and now we have an interesting situation here, ladies and gentlemen, as Puma is now kind of undecided on what to do. Looks like he's sending out SCVs all over the map, trying to find any base on the map that he can, and now Hero has his forces kind of split up right now. He's got Blink Stalkers moving around, trying to find any orbital command. He's got to be guessing, though, that at this point that orbital command is going to be hiding off on the side of the map. Wants to keep checking these bases, though, to be sure that Puma isn't doing any kind of mining anywhere. That's really what he needs to be watching out for. But oh no, this army for Hero going to be very, very scary. I don't know about this engagement here from Hero. I think he needs to pull back. He only wants to take shield damage right now and then just pull back to take damage. And oh, looks like he's going to lose a Stalker there. He's trying to pick off as many Marines as he can, but the range of the siege tanks, even when unsieged, is higher than that of the Stalkers, and oh, it looks like he's now being forced to pull back to the main, and now looks like he's going to be sieging up on the high ground, blinking forward to try to deal damage to those siege tanks, but those siege tanks dealing so much damage right now. This Raven needs to stay alive, and if that Raven stays alive, I think this is going to be the end of the game for one of these players. I don't actually know right now, as there are 2 Banshees still up right now, and Hero only has 4 Zealots and 1 Stalker. He has no detection right now. He has no observer right now, and I think despite Hero having the food lead right now, 40 food to 16, I think Puma might have this game. We have a Forge coming down right now to be able to detect, but that's going to require cannons getting down right now, and if Puma is just good with these Banshees, I think he's going to be able to win this game. Right now, we do have a worker advantage here for Hero, but no other Nexus are currently on the map right now, and this 1 Stalker is his 1 lone Stalker, and oh no, so many Marines in the middle of the map, catching all the probes. Looks like Hero just going to be engaging those with those probes, trying to deal as much damage as he can, but no, it looks like Hero not going to be able to take the game, as it really came down to the wire in that game. Hero giving the WW, otherwise known as the Korean GG, or what some players call the well won. Looks like Puma is going to be taking Game 4. That means, ladies and gentlemen, that we are going to be jumping into Game 5 of Hero versus Puma, so stick with me.